Hey everyone, it's Frankie-Lou. I'm coming to you today from the kitchen of the Grow Together homestead, where I'm going to be doing a few more little seed saving tips. Because some seeds are quite easy to save, and they're large and they're easy to remove from all of the excess plant material that surrounds them. Some of them aren't. So there's processes called threshing and winnowing, which I'm going to go over today. We're using my fabulous Radish Pods as an example of how to do some really easy do-it-yourself at-home winnowing and threshing. Okay, so first off, as with all seed saving, make sure that you're choosing seeds from the best, brightest, most productive plants in your garden. Try to stick with open pollinated heirloom quality seeds so that they'll breed true to the mother plant. You guys have heard me say this all before, but I can't stress that enough. Choose the best, okay? And another thing that's super important is ensure that your seeds are fully dry. I wanted to make this video about 4 days ago, and I couldn't because my seed pods weren't quite ready. They still had a little give to them. What you're looking for when you're gonna go to do your seed saving with things like peas or radish pods, you want it so that it's crispy. Like, see, you can hear that, right? There's no give. It actually shatters when I go to squeeze it. That's what you're looking for whenever you're going to do one of these things. Now, some seeds, I've got a whole bunch of peas here. Threshing is a very simple process. I basically, with this sort of scenario, I love these mesh bags. They're great for drying the pods to begin with. And that's about it. That's what I do with my lettuce as well. These seed pods, they come off, the plant material comes off so easily that it's a matter of 10 minutes to get all these seeds gathered up, okay? And that's great, all right? And I hope that you are doing that with your peas. I'm gonna be planting these for microgreens later on this week. So there will be a video about that as well. But radish pods are a completely different scenario. And there's lots of plants that produce seeds like this, where there's so much plant material and you're stuck with, like, for this whole pod, I got 2 seeds, okay? 2 teeny tiny little seeds, right? And if I was to take this big bowl and individually crush each one and pick out each seed, that would be a nightmare. It would take hours and hours and hours and hours. And who has that kind of time, okay? So I'm going to show you another method of threshing. And threshing basically is defined as removing excess plant material from the seeds that you want to save, okay? In seed saving terms. So it also, for threshing, when people are harvesting greens, those are seeds too. So basically it's getting the excess stuff away from the stuff you really want. All right, so I've got a whole big bowl here of radish pods. These are all from 2 plants, okay? So if you haven't, if you're like, what is she talking about, radish pods? There's a whole other video on that. I'm kind of obsessed with it. So I want to make sure I have lots of radish seeds every year because I grow it like crazy for pickling and companion planting, okay? So, and for eating fresh. But what I've done is, what you want to do is you want to crush these. Now, a lot of people are afraid of threshing because they're afraid of damaging the seeds. If you think about it, seeds are built to last, okay? And whereas nature wants this pod on the outside to be crushed and get out of the way so the seed can do its job when it falls to the ground, okay? So what I want to do is I am going to basically crush this material and try to remove the seeds from. That's a later process called winnowing. So we're going to crush. That's what we're going to do first. Threshing, crushing in this case, okay? So what I've got is to help me today is I've got a nice wooden box. It's an old wine box. I find it's awesome for this sort of process. If I had enough of this material to fill up a few inches in the bottom of this box, I would be stomping on it myself, but I don't. I only have this much material. So I'm going to use a glass that has a nice flat bottom, completely flat, I'm going to pour my seeds in there. I don't want to use it in the rounded bowl because I'm gonna miss out. I've got my material in here, and I'm just gonna start crushing, okay? Now this is gonna take me 5-10 minutes, probably 5 minutes. I always overestimate how much time it takes. If you're mad at somebody, this is a really, really great little job. Okay, I will be back in a second when I've crushed the living daylights out of these to show you the next step. Okay, I'm a little hot and bothered. That was a bit of a workout, as you can see here. But it's great. I've got a whole bunch of chaff, who cares, but the excess plant material and a tiny little bit of seeds that I want out of here, okay? Another thing I should have mentioned before, when you are going to do your seed saving, yes, your best, your brightest, your most productive, your heirloom, and also it has to be fully ripe. You're not going to be able to choose seeds that are not quite ripened, okay? So you leave that stuff growing as long as you can until it starts to look ugly, okay? And then it's probably time and it's fully plumped out and the seed heads have fully formed. So I've got a whole bunch of material here, and I probably only have a few hundred seeds in all of this, okay? But these wooden boxes are wonderful, okay, because they're not so hard that they're going to cause the seed itself to be crushed, but it will crush that excess or plant material or chaff, okay? So this is a multi-stage process, and the reason I'm wearing my coat is we're going to be doing some of this outside, because as you can see, this stuff floats, okay? It's supposed to, and we're going to take advantage of that. Joking here. First off, though, I'm going to get rid of some of the excess, all right? So I've got a pretty big hold colander here, and I'm just going to get off those extra big pieces. I'm going to pour that on there. Good tap. Give it a shake. Oof, even with this, it's still. I'm going to have to vacuum after I'm done this. I do usually do this outside, the whole thing, but you can hear the hard stuff falling down. Those are the seeds, okay? Because when you do your threshing, you're removing the lighter plant material. Seeds are almost, not in every case, but in most cases, the seeds are going to be the heaviest part of that seed pot, okay? So by doing this and doing just this initial colander bit, I'm making sure I've got all those big pieces of chaff that I really don't need, and the hard seeds are falling through, okay? So I'm going to remove about 3/4 of the plant material that I have to work with here. All right, so quite a bit of that and a little bit of this. And you can see these are the smaller pieces. Okay, and I've got a messy counter, but now I'm going to take you outside and I'm going to show you the last little part, which is kind of fun and really necessary to be done outside, because we're going to winnow now. And winnowing is basically using an air current to blow off, because you see how this stuff floats? That winnowing takes advantage of that, okay? Okay, so now we're out on our deck, which I'm about to make very messy, but because it is a wind, this chaff will blow away in the wind, it won't look too bad tomorrow. Now, I have done this outside on, sorry, the ducks hear my voice, they get all excited. I have done this on a slightly windy day. I actually haven't had to use a fan, but today it's quiet out here in terms of the wind. So we're gonna what we're gonna do. And oh, if you don't have a ton of material like this, you could just blow, because watch. See all that white stuff floating off? That is the chaff leaving, okay? But I've got quite a bit of material and it would take quite a while to do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to turn on my fan. And I'm going to take a bowl and I'm going to pour. You can hear those hard seeds falling and hitting the ground. And you can see that the chaff is blowing away. And I'm just going to keep doing this slowly, pouring. kind of fun. I like this job. I like making messes. What's wrong with me? I'm just gonna keep doing this. Only the really good, hard, heavy seeds, which are the ones you want, are gonna end up being saved. Okay, I'll keep at this and come back in a second. Okay, so I kept at it, and if you look here, yeah, that's a whole lot of mess on the ground. And I'm left with this many seeds. Okay, there's still a few little pieces to pick out there, but honestly, a whole lot less work than if I had to individually cross sheet to those. Okay, so that's all finished now. I've got a nice little bunch of seeds here, plenty to do my garden for next year. Even though I'm obsessed with radish pods, these probably will be enough seeds for me. Okay, I'm going to make sure I store it properly. Okay, I know I go over this over and over again, but it's super important. You want to make sure they're fully dry. We know they're fully dry because we went through that with the checking of the pods. I store these in these lovely little sealable coin envelopes. I find they're perfect for nice small quantities of seeds. Make sure that you label it, seal it with the date, the year, and your variety that you're growing, that you've got saved here for next year's garden. All right, so hope that was helpful. Please don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions about that or any of the other stuff that we've got going on. There's going to be a lot happening in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be going over planting microgreens and propagating herbs and doing some inside growing. So subscribe if you're interested in catching on to any of that. As always, I hope you take this chance to grow together today. Have a good one.